Greetings, Earthlings and non-Earthlings alike. Welcome back to the intersection of punk rock and queer identity. This is episode 3, where we're going to be diving into the first wave of punk, with a focus on the Sex Pistols and the Ramones, who I mentioned back in episode 1. Okay, I'm actually not even going to be focusing on the whole bands. Sorry. While their musical contributions are greatly important to punk music, I'm going to focus on a queer love story. That's right, between Sid Vicious, bassist of the Sex Pistols, and Dee Dee Ramone, bassist of the Ramones. As a reminder, it's best to watch this series in order from episode 1. The Sex Pistols were brought together by Malcolm McLaren and Vivienne Westwood for one purpose: to sell Westwood's clothes. A lot of those clothes were obscene and political, or some combination of the two, and it was only logical to make a band of young, angry kids to market those clothes. The original lineup was Johnny Rotten on vocals, Steve Jones on guitar, Paul Cook on drums, and Glenn Matlock on bass. Their first single was Anarchy in the UK, and it was banned by the BBC, especially after members of the group and other punks swore during an interview while also wearing Westwood's provocative clothing. Sid Vicious, born Simon John Ritchie, was part of this early circle of punks, both as a fan and musician. When tension between Matlock and the rest of the Pistols came to a climax, Vicious became the replacement bassist. He quickly amplified the band's image as a result of his drug-induced violent tendencies, and Sid also drew attention away from Rotten on stage, with more people crowding to watch Vicious. In addition, he was a big fan of US band The Ramones. Sid tried to incorporate Ramones-esque locomotive rhythms into the band's music, which caused tension with guitarist Steve Jones, who was looking to add more melodic ideas. Overall, Vicious was not praised for being a musician, but for his overall aura and image. He's most remembered for the alleged murder of his girlfriend Nancy Spungen and his subsequent suicide. He was chaos incarnate, but was he queer? He's not around to answer the question, but there is a plethora of oral history of different encounters that could be coded as queer. I like to stick to his own words that you'll hear in the next video. I'm a raging queen, really. Don't tell anyone, though.
Yeah, really? I'm a raging queen, really. Don't tell anyone, no.
The Ramones consisted of vocalist Joey Ramone, guitarist Johnny Ramone, drummer Tommy Ramone, and bassist Dee Dee Ramone. Like the Sex Pistols, they were young, poor, and angry. Their clothes, torn jeans and worn jackets, were not marketing ploys, just practical when dealing with impoverished conditions. Musically, the Ramones crafted short and repetitive tracks, utilizing power chords and fast rhythms. There was a joke in a 2013 film about the CBGB Club that it appeared most of their songs were about things that they didn't want to do. In the film, the interviewer asks, "Is there anything you do want to do?" And they answer, "Yeah, we have a song called I Want to Sniff Some Glue." But some Ramones songs still got more personal. For example, Dee Dee wrote a song called 53rd and 3rd, in reference to an intersection where he would engage in sex work to make money for drugs. It's said that most of these encounters were with men, though it's difficult to root out sexuality from these experiences, since the acts are tied not to romance or preference, but to the practicality of acquiring funds. Despite this complexity, the manager of the Ramones, Danny Fields, commented that Dee Dee tended to attract queer men in general. He elaborated on this statement by stating that he was pretty sure Sid Vicious of the Sex Pistols had a crush on Dee Dee. So, is there any true substance to this claim and love story? Maybe. One way of expressing love comes in the form of idolatry. Vicious wanted to emulate the Ramones, and specifically Dee Dee. In his own words, Vicious is a raging queen. Ramones manager Danny Fields could have just been trying to add intrigue to the band with his statements, but as one of the first openly queer people in the music business, one could argue he had the authority of his gaydar to make such a claim. Regardless of Sid and Dee Dee's potential romance, the fact remains that both the Sex Pistols, the Ramones, and the individuals that comprised them inspired many more youths to pick up instruments and vent their frustrations with society. As this series continues, I hope my viewers will see how much clearer the tie between punk and queerness becomes, even if predecessors have often left more questions than confirmations of their intentions and experiences. Thank you as always for your time, and remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.